We're going to solve this inequality here. Okay, so notice we've got a double bracket here and a quadratic over here. The double bracket will also create a quadratic. So I'm going to expand this here first of all. So I'll get 2x squared. Okay, and do the first outers are minus 12x then when you multiply that. Inners then be minus x. And last then, when I times that, it'll become 6. Okay, on the other side then keep it as it is. And then I'm going to get everything onto one side, right? So if I take that x squared over, it becomes a minus x squared. So I'll have 2x squared minus x squared is x squared. I've got minus 12x here, minus x. Well, that's minus 13x. But when I bring that over, that becomes a plus. So a minus 13x plus 5x is minus 8x. And I've got a 6 here. Bring that 26 over, and it'll become minus 26, so 6 minus 26 is minus 20, and that's less than 0. Okay, so we need to solve this, okay, right, where this quadratic is less than 0. We're going to have a range of solutions, okay, for this, okay, because there's lots of solutions for x, so that this is going to be less than 0. And the key to it is just to try and solve this quadratic. And when we solve the quadratic, we put it equal to 0, don't we? Okay, so we maybe come up with 2 brackets. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to focus on the critical points. Okay, now there are 2 points. Okay, hopefully we'll get, so for the critical points, we get that when we set the quadratic equal to 0. So when it's equal to 0, we come up with a pair of brackets, don't we? Here. And we need to have 2 numbers that multiply to give minus 20, add up to give minus 8. Now there's lots of pairs that multiply to give 20, like 4 and 5, yeah? But 4 and 5 you can't get that to add up to 8. But the other one, of course, is 10 and 2. Okay, 10 and 2, and you can manipulate that to get minus 8. So to get minus 8, you need to make this to be minus 10, don't you? So you start off with minus 10 and then add 2. That will take you to minus 8. And we get our minus 8x in that case. And they will multiply one day to give minus 20. So we've got x plus 2 is 0. So the first bracket is 0, or the second bracket is 0. Which means then x is minus 2, or x is 10. Now that isn't my overall solution, because all I've done here is solved this here. Okay, this is what I've solved, where it's equal to 0. But when we draw our quadratic now, and this is the key, is to actually draw this graph. And of course we can use these values because this is where the quadratic is equal to 0. Okay, so it's equal to 0 here at minus 2 and here at 10. Okay, so we can draw our quadratic. Of course it's going to be a smiley face, isn't it? It's going to be a U-shaped because it's positive. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually turn this upside down, find it slightly easier to draw. Okay, so there's my U-shaped. Now let's go back to what we actually want to solve. We want to solve where this quadratic is less than 0. Okay, so if you think about it, this quadratic where it's less than 0 is underneath the x-axis, isn't it? Okay, these are my critical points. Okay, because at these critical points is where the graph is equal to 0. I'm interested when it's less than 0. Less than 0, of course, it will be all of this part of the curve here, yeah, and all of this part of the curve here. So all of this bit here is negative, less than 0, between those critical points, minus 2 and 10. So it's between those 2 points. So in terms of setting out a range of solutions, well, I always do x. I always start with the biggest one. X is less than 10. Okay, because it is going to be less than 10, but it's going to be bigger. So I'll copy that inequality here. Same direction. It's going to be bigger than the lowest value here, which is minus 2. And there's my solution.